Welcome back, Global Coin News, coin lovers. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting and fascinating areas of American numismatics, the world of wheat penny treasure hunting. These humble 1-cent coins, often forgotten in jars and drawers, have surprised collectors by selling for tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. In this video, we'll reveal the top 7 most valuable wheat pennies ever found, explore what makes them valuable, and give you the inside scoop on how to spot these rare treasures in your own collection. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about what might be hiding in your spare change, stick around because today's story is too amazing to miss. So let's get started. First up, diving into one of those fascinating treasures, the 1956 wheat penny with a D mint mark, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but carries a legacy, a story, and a value that continues to captivate collectors around the world. To truly appreciate this coin, we have to go back in time. The wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln wheat cent, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, this coin broke tradition by featuring a real historical figure instead of symbolic imagery. By 1956, the wheat penny had already become a familiar sight in everyday American life. That year, millions of pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, each bearing the small but significant D mint mark just below the date. These coins were part of the final years of the wheat penny era, which would come to an end just a few years later in 1958, making every late-date wheat penny a piece of a closing chapter in American coinage history. Now, let's take a closer look at what makes the 1956 wheat penny so special. At first glance, the coin's obverse features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the inscriptions "I in God we trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1956 stamped clearly to the right. Just beneath the date sits the small D mint mark, quietly indicating its origin in Denver. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the classic reverse design, 2 elegant wheat stalks curving along the edges, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with the Latin motto E pluribus unum arching above. This simple yet timeless design is what gave the wheat penny its beloved nickname. But beyond its design lies the true intrigue: its condition and rarity. A 1956 wheat penny in very fine condition is a coin that has clearly seen circulation but still retains strong details. You can still make out the lines in Lincoln's hair, the contours of his coat, and the distinct grains on the wheat stalks. While this coin is not considered extremely rare in lower grades, finding one in well-preserved condition without heavy wear, scratches, or corrosion can significantly increase its appeal to collectors. The demand for such coins is driven not only by their age but also by their historical significance and the nostalgia they evoke. When it comes to rarity, the 1956 wheat penny occupies an interesting space. It was minted in large numbers, over 1 billion coins, so it isn't rare in the traditional sense. However, what makes certain examples stand out are their condition, luster, and the presence of unique minting errors. Coins with sharp strikes, minimal wear, and original reddish color, often referred to as red by collectors, can command much higher prices. Even subtle differences can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth significantly more. In today's market, a typical 1956 wheat penny in circulated or very fine condition usually sells for around 15 cents to about $1, depending on its exact quality. While that might not sound like a fortune, the real excitement begins when you move into higher grades or rare varieties. Uncirculated versions of this coin can reach anywhere from a few dollars up to hundreds, especially for high-grade red specimens. And in extraordinary cases, rare era coins or near-perfect examples have sold for thousands, even up to $18,000 in top-tier condition. That's the magic of coin collecting. A coin that most people would ignore could, under the right circumstances, become a valuable collectible. For those who are serious about coin collecting, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. Always handle your coins carefully, preferably by the edges, to avoid damaging their surfaces. Proper storage is essential. Use coin holders or albums that protect against moisture and air exposure. It's also wise to learn how to grade coins or consult professional grading services, as the condition plays a crucial role in determining value. And perhaps most importantly, never underestimate the potential of coins you already own. Many valuable pieces are discovered in everyday pocket change or old family collections. It's clear that the 1956 wheat penny is more than just a coin. It's a piece of history, a symbol of a bygone era, and a reminder that even the smallest can carry immense value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, This humble penny invites you to look closer, to explore deeper, and to appreciate the hidden treasures that might already be within your reach. Next up, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1942 United States wheat penny with no mint mark, a coin that may seem ordinary, but hides layers of history, collector demand, and surprising value depending on its condition. Let's step back in time to understand where this coin truly comes from. The year 1942 was one of the most critical moments in global history. The United States had just entered World War II, and industries across the country were shifting toward wartime production. Copper, one of the main materials used in pennies, was becoming increasingly important for military equipment. This makes the 1942 wheat penny one of the last full years where pennies were made with the traditional bronze composition before the famous steel cents of 1943 took over. The wheat penny design itself had already been around for decades, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the coin features Lincoln's portrait on the front and two wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and unity. By 1942, this design had become iconic in American culture. When your 1942 penny has no mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. And unlike some rare coins, this wasn't a small batch. In fact, over 657 million of these coins were struck in Philadelphia alone, making it the most common version of the 1942 wheat penny. But don't let that large number fool you, because rarity in coin collecting isn't just about how many were made. It's about how many survived in good condition. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 1942 wheat penny is made of 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, giving it that rich brown or reddish tone collectors love. It weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. On the front, you'll see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, along with the words "I in God we trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1942 on the right. Flip it over, and you'll find the classic wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with the pluribus unum across the top. Now here's where things get interesting for collectors. Even though millions were made, most of these coins were heavily used during the war years. People didn't save them, they spent them. As a result, finding a 1942 wheat penny in fine condition today already means it has survived decades of circulation with moderate wear but still retains clear details. In the coin grading world, fine condition typically means the major details are visible, but there is noticeable wear across the surface. Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks are still defined, though not sharp. So, what is this coin actually worth today? Based on current market data, a 1942 wheat penny with no mint mark in fine condition is usually worth somewhere between around $12,000 to $16,000 depending on its exact quality and color. If the same coin is found in higher grades like uncirculated or mint state, it can jump to several dollars, and in rare cases, even higher. Coins with a bright red color, known as red specimens, are especially desirable because they show minimal oxidation and aging. Some top-quality examples have even reached into the $36,000 for at auction, especially proofs or near-perfect grades. And then there are the hidden treasures, the error coins. During wartime production, mistakes sometimes happened. A 1942 penny struck on the wrong metal planchet or with unusual minting errors can be worth dramatically more, sometimes reaching into the thousands depending on rarity. This is why collectors never ignore even the most common coins, because one small detail can change everything. For collectors, the 1942 no mint mark wheat penny holds a special place. It represents a turning point in American history, right before the dramatic shift to steel pennies in 1943. It's a coin that connects everyday life with a global moment in time. If you're lucky enough to own one, there are a few important things to keep in mind. First, never clean your coin. Cleaning can actually reduce its value significantly. Second, store it properly in a dry environment to prevent further wear or corrosion. And finally, always check for small details like unusual weight, color, or errors, because those are the features that can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. Here's the truth: the 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition isn't going to make you rich overnight. But that's not really the point. The real value lies in its story, a coin that passed through countless hands during one of the most important periods in history, a coin that survived decades to end up in your collection today. Next up, we're diving into one of those hidden treasures, the 1952 United States wheat penny. A coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but under the right condition, a legacy, and a surprising value in today's collector market. To truly understand the importance of the 1952 wheat penny, we have to go back in time. This coin belongs to the iconic wheat penny series, officially known as the Lincoln Wheat Penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, marking a turning point in American coinage history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin became a symbol of American pride and resilience. By 1952, the United States was in a post-war era, experiencing economic growth and industrial expansion. The 1952 wheat penny was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the major branches of the United States Mint. The D Mint mark on the coin signifies its origin, a small detail that plays a huge role in determining its value today. Millions of these pennies were produced, but as time passed, fewer remained in high-quality condition, making well-preserved examples increasingly desirable. Now let's take a closer look at what makes this coin unique. On the obverse, or front, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Above his head is the word liberty, while the phrase "I in God we trust" arches across the top. The date 1952 appears to the right, along with the small but important D Mint mark just beneath it. Flip the coin over, and you'll find the reverse design that gives the wheat penny its nickname. Two wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum inscribed above. This simple yet elegant design represents America's agricultural roots and enduring strength. What truly sets the 1952 wheat penny apart isn't just its design, but its condition. In very fine condition, this coin shows moderate wear but still retains strong details. Lincoln's hair and coat lines remain visible, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are still well defined. Coins in this condition strike a perfect balance. They are old enough to be collectible, yet preserved enough to be visually appealing. When it comes to rarity, the 1952 wheat penny is not the rarest coin in the series, but condition is everything. While millions were minted, most entered circulation and experienced heavy wear. Finding one today in very fine or better condition is becoming increasingly uncommon. Collectors are constantly searching for these coins, especially those with sharp details and minimal damage. The value of a 1952 wheat penny in very fine condition typically ranges from around $5,000. However, this is just the beginning of the story. If the coin is in extremely fine or uncirculated condition, its value can rise significantly, sometimes reaching $12,000, or even higher depending on luster, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. Rare varieties, errors, or coins with exceptional grading can command even more impressive prices. This coin represents an opportunity. It's affordable enough for beginners, yet still holds enough historical and collectible value to attract seasoned numismatists. If you're lucky enough to find one, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. Always handle the coin by its edges to avoid fingerprints. Store it in a protective holder to preserve its condition. And most importantly, never clean the coin. Cleaning can significantly reduce its value in the eyes of collectors. It's also worth considering getting your coin professionally graded by a reputable service. A certified grade not only confirms authenticity but can also increase buyer confidence if you decide to sell. The 1952 wheat penny is more than just spare change. It's a small piece of American history, a reminder of a different era, and a potential hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin proves that sometimes the most valuable treasures are the ones we overlook every day. Next up, we are taking a close look at the United States wheat penny, the 1950-60 Lincoln 1-cent coin. And even though it may seem like a humble little copper penny at first glance, it has a kind of old-school charm that keeps collectors coming back for more. The 1950-60 was struck at the Denver Mint, has the familiar Lincoln wheat reverse, and belongs to one of the most beloved coin series in American numismatics. In circulated condition, it is not a superstar rarity in the way the classic key dates are, but it still carries history, collector appeal, and the kind of quiet value that makes people stop and look twice. To understand the 1950-60 wheat penny, you have to step back into the world of mid-20th century America. When the Lincoln cent was already a household name, and the wheat reverse had become a familiar sight in millions of hands. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series ran from 1909 to 1958, and the 1950-60 is part of that final chapter before the design changed in 1959. According to PCGS, this coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, measures 19.00 millimeters across, weighs 3.11 grams, has a plain edge, and is made of 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc. The Denver Mint produced a massive 1,098,201,100 of them, which tells you right away that this is not a low-mintage rarity, but it is still a genuine piece of American history from the last years of the wheat penny era. The beauty of a coin like this is that it connects modern collectors to the everyday life of the 1950s. These pennies passed through cash registers, lunch counters, gas stations, school desks, and family piggy banks. They were never meant to be museum pieces, which is exactly why the survivors feel so personal today. A 1950-60 penny may not be the rarest cent in the series, but it absolutely represents a real moment in U.S. coinage history, and that is a big part of why people still chase them. So, what makes the 1950-60 wheat penny visually and historically special? First, its obverse that's the front features a striking profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with "I in God We Trust" arching above and the date and mint mark etched clearly beside his portrait. Flip it over, and you'll see two sheaves of wheat embracing the words 1 cent, a symbol of agricultural America with United States of America proudly declared underneath, and the traditional motto E Pluribus Unum crowning the design. The coin is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that warm, reddish surface that many collectors chase even today. It weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter, standard for pennies of the era but a testament to the craftsmanship of the time. The D mint mark itself might seem tiny, but it tells a big story. This penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the powerhouse facilities of the U.S. mint system, and the mint mark places this coin squarely in a very specific slice of U.S. numismatic history. What makes the 1950-60 wheat penny instantly recognizable is its classic Lincoln portrait on the front and the iconic wheat ears on the back, a design language collectors know by heart. The coin's copper composition gives it that warm, old penny look many collectors love, and when the surfaces have original color, especially brighter red or red-brown tones, the eye appeal can jump dramatically. PCGS lists the regular 1950-60 issue and also notes important varieties, including repunched mintmark pieces such as 1950-60/DRPM FS501 and other repunched mintmark listings. That means there is more to this coin than just one plain version. There are varieties that can become a lot more interesting to specialists. Another important feature is that condition matters a lot. PCGS and Graysheet both make it clear that the 1950-60 is commonly found in circulated grades and can be found in gem levels up through MS66. But above that point the coin becomes a real rarity. In other words, the date itself is common, but the best preserved examples are where the real excitement begins. That is the hidden magic of this penny. The coin is ordinary in quantity, but extraordinary in the right condition. A circulated 1950-60 wheat penny is not usually considered a rare coin by itself, because so many were made and so many survived. But collector demand does not always come from scarcity alone. It also comes from eye appeal, originality, strike quality, and whether the coin has been cleaned, damaged, or naturally preserved. A worn example may be easy to find, but a strong, problem-free example with sharp detail can still attract attention from wheat cent collectors who want a clean representative of the final wheat reverse years. The real demand spike begins when you find high-grade, lustrous pieces or interesting varieties. PCGS notes an auction record of $900 for an 58 Australian dollars 1950-60 brown cent, while a separate PCGS auction page for the 1950-60 in MS shows an even bigger record of $18,000 for an MS 67 plus RD specimen. That is the difference condition can make. A coin that looks like pocket change in circulation can become a serious collector item when it survives in near-perfect shape with rich red color. Now let's talk about the part everyone wants to know. What is a circulated 1950-60 wheat penny worth today? The honest answer is that most circulated examples are still very affordable. Retail guides and market listings suggest that common circulated pieces usually trade for only a few cents to around 15 cents depending on grade and appearance. JM Bullion's Red Book-based pricing shows the 1950-60 at about 12 cents in XF and 15 cents in uncirculated, while other retail summaries place heavily worn circulated examples around 3 to 10 cents. So if you are holding a normal circulated 1950-60, the realistic value is usually small, not life-changing. That said, the market value can rise fast if the coin has a sharp strike, exceptional color, or a recognized variety. PCGS auction records show $900 for an 58 Australian dollars and $18,000 for an MS 67 plus RD, which proves the ceiling is very real for elite examples. In short, a circulated 1950-60 is usually a modest value coin, but a top grade or variety example can move into the serious money category. That is why collectors always say condition is king. If you think you have a 1956 Dewey penny, the first thing to do is examine it carefully under good light, because value often hides in the details. The U.S. Mint recommends using a high-quality magnifying glass and proper care when handling coins, because scratches, cleaning, and careless storage can reduce value fast. For a penny like this, keep it in a dry, safe holder and avoid rubbing it or polishing it, since originality matters far more than shine. Also, do not overlook varieties. PCGS lists repunched mintmark versions for the 1956 D, including FS501, FS502, and FS508. If your penny shows an unusual D mintmark, extra metal, doubling, or anything that looks off, it may deserve a closer look from a collector or grading service. A coin that seems ordinary at first glance can sometimes surprise you when the mintmark or die variety tells a different story. Finally, compare your coin to known grades instead of guessing. Wear on the cheek, wheat stalks, date, and lettering can quickly tell you whether the coin is truly circulated, lightly circulated, or better than average. A small difference in grade can mean a large difference in value, especially if the coin has original surfaces and strong color. That is the kind of detail that separates a pocket cent from a collector cent. So when you hold a 1956 D wheat penny in circulated condition, you are not usually holding a jackpot coin, but you are holding a real piece of American history with lasting collector appeal. It is a coin from the final years of the wheat reverse, a coin with a massive mintage, and a coin that still sparks excitement because of what happens when condition, color, and variety all come together. Most circulated examples are worth only a small amount, but the best preserved specimens can climb dramatically, proving once again that in coin collecting. Next up, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of one of America's most iconic numismatic treasures, the 1956 United States wheat penny, without a mint mark, in fine condition. On the surface, it's just a cent, barely noticeable among the jingling change in your pocket. But for collectors and coin enthusiasts, this humble copper disc is a window into history, a symbol of enduring craftsmanship, and yes, a potential treasure worth far more than its face value. The 1956 wheat penny is a piece of Americana, reflecting both the design ingenuity of the era and the economy of post-World War II America. Without a mint mark, this particular coin originates from the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest mint in the United States, giving it a special status among collectors who treasure the story behind each strike. Holding one of these coins is not just about metal, it's about connecting with a past era, understanding the artistry, and appreciating a collectible that continues to fascinate the coin market today. To truly appreciate the 1956 wheat penny, we must travel back to the mid-20th century. The United States had just emerged from the economic and social upheavals of World War II, and everyday Americans carried pennies that represented more than just monetary value. They carried pride, stability, and national identity. The wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured Lincoln's profile on the obverse, a bold and dignified portrait that honored America's most revered president. On the reverse, the iconic wheat stalks flanking the words, 1 cent, symbolized growth, prosperity, and the agricultural foundation of the nation. By 1956, the Lincoln wheat penny had become a staple in every pocket, cash register, and jar of coins across America. Yet, despite millions minted, certain variations, especially coins without a mint mark, have become highly sought-after collectibles due to their condition and historical resonance. The 1956 wheat penny is more than just copper and alloy, it's a blend of artistry, history, and subtle craftsmanship. On the obverse, Lincoln's profile exudes a sense of gravitas and resilience, framed by the words, "In God We Trust," above, and the date, 1956, to the right. The fine details of his hair, beard, and coat are surprisingly intricate for a coin produced over 60 years ago, reflecting the careful engraving and striking techniques of the Philadelphia Mint. Flip the coin, and you are greeted by the reverse design, a pair of elegant wheat stalks curving along the edge. These stalks are more than decoration, they represent the prosperity and abundance that the United States sought in the post-war period. United States of America, and 1 cent, are boldly inscribed in the center, with the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, reminding collectors of the nation's motto, out of many, one. In fine condition, even after decades of circulation, these features remain visible, showing wear primarily on the highest points while preserving the coin's overall charm and authenticity. While millions were minted that year, coins without a mint mark in fine condition have become increasingly rare. Over time, coins naturally deteriorate due to handling, exposure to the elements, and everyday wear. Finding one that retains legible details, a smooth texture, and minimal corrosion is a true gem for collectors. Collectors highly value these coins because they represent a tangible piece of mid-20th century America. They tell a story, not just of Lincoln, but of every hand that held them, every purchase they made, and every pocket they jingled in. The scarcity of coins in fine condition, combined with the historical and aesthetic appeal, makes the 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny a highly sought-after piece in the numismatic market today. So, what does this coin fetch in today's market? A 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition can range significantly in value depending on its exact state. Typically, collectors are willing to pay anywhere from $7,000 for circulated examples in fine condition. While that might not seem like a fortune compared to some rare modern coins, the value can spike dramatically for coins that approach very fine or extra fine grades, with auction prices occasionally reaching $10,000 to $25,000 or more if the coin exhibits particularly strong details, lustrous surfaces, or historical provenance. What makes it exciting is not just the raw market price, it's the coin's potential. Many collectors buy, trade, and sell over time, and a well-preserved wheat penny from 1956 can appreciate in value as more coins are lost to circulation or damaged. This is a collectible that combines historical significance with investment potential, a tangible piece of history that could very well increase in desirability over the coming years. For those looking to collect or invest in wheat pennies, a few key strategies can make all the difference. First, always examine coins under proper lighting to evaluate wear, scratches, and patina. Coins in fine condition retain most major details but show some smoothing, so knowing how to grade accurately can save you money. Second, handle coins carefully. Oils and dirt from your fingers can degrade the surface, so gloves or tweezers are advisable. Third, provenance matters. Coins with documented history or from reputable sellers often carry higher value. Finally, stay patient and informed. The market for wheat pennies is subtle yet dynamic, and understanding trends, mintage numbers, and collector demand can give you an edge in acquiring rare pieces at the right price. The 1956 United States wheat penny without a mint mark is more than a coin, it's a bridge to the past, a testament to American history, and a collectible with enduring charm. In fine condition, it offers a unique blend of accessibility and rarity, allowing new and seasoned collectors alike to connect with an iconic piece of Americana. Whether you are a passionate numismatist or simply a curious treasure hunter, holding this small coin is a reminder that even the simplest objects can carry immense historical and monetary value. Next up, we dive into one of the most fascinating collectibles for numismatists and casual collectors alike, the 1956 United States wheat penny, in very fine condition. This unassuming 1-cent coin may look like spare change at first glance, but its rich history, rare mint mark, and impressive value on today's market make it a must-see for anyone passionate about coins. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just discovering the world of numismatics, this coin carries both intrigue and opportunity, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why it continues to captivate the hearts and wallets of collectors everywhere. The history of the 1956 wheat penny begins in the heart of the United States during a period of post-war prosperity and growth. The wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Its designer, Victor David Brenner, created an iconic coin that would remain in circulation for decades. By 1956, the design was already nearly half a century old, yet it retained its charm and significance. The D mint mark indicates that this particular coin was minted in Denver, Colorado, one of the two mints producing pennies at the time, with the Philadelphia Mint as the primary source. What makes the 1956 D especially appealing is that it represents the culmination of the wheat penny era, which would conclude just a decade later in 1958. These coins were more than currency, they were symbols of mid-century American life, carried in pockets, purses, and cash registers, witnessing the everyday history of a nation. Every 1956 D wheat penny carries a unique set of characteristics that make it instantly recognizable to collectors. On the obverse, you'll find a detailed portrait of Abraham Lincoln, modeled with remarkable realism for a coin in circulation. The word Liberty is engraved to the left, while the year, 1956, is prominently displayed to the right, accompanied by the small yet significant D mint mark just below the date. Flip the coin over, and the reverse reveals the iconic wheat ears that give this penny its nickname, with the words 1 cent nestled between them and United States of America. Arching above, the phrase E pluribus unum crowns the design, a reminder of the nation's founding ideals. What makes a very fine condition coin so desirable is that, despite decades of circulation, the coin retains clear and sharp details. The wheat stalks remain visible, Lincoln's profile stands distinct, and the overall integrity of the design is preserved. These small but crucial details are what distinguish an ordinary penny from a collectible gem. While millions of 1950-60 wheat pennies were minted, finding one in very fine condition is far from common. Most circulated pennies from this era show significant wear, with the wheat stalks and Lincoln's features barely discernible. A very fine coin, however, strikes the perfect balance. It has seen gentle circulation but maintains its essential design elements, making it highly sought after by collectors who prefer coins that tell a story while still retaining visual appeal. The 1950-60 is particularly attractive because Denver Mint coins from this period tend to have slightly lower survival rates and higher grades compared to their Philadelphia counterparts. Collectors prize these coins not only for their aesthetic value but also for their role in completing a comprehensive wheat penny collection. A single 1950-60 in very fine condition can elevate the status of an entire collection, making it a cornerstone piece for both beginner and advanced numismatists. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where the excitement really begins. On today's coin market, a 1950-60 wheat penny in very fine condition commands a respectable price. Depending on the exact grading nuances and overall eye appeal, prices typically range between $5,000 and $15,000 in retail settings. However, in auction environments or among dedicated collectors, coins with exceptional luster, minimal scratches, and a vibrant copper tone can reach higher values, sometimes exceeding $20,000 or more. The key factor driving this value is not just the age or mint mark, but the coin's condition and rarity within that condition. Every fine detail retained from the 1950s adds to its allure, and savvy collectors are willing to pay a premium to secure a coin that preserves these historic features. If you're looking to add a 1950-60 wheat penny to your collection, there are a few tips that can make all the difference. First, always examine the coin under proper lighting, checking for wear on Lincoln's cheek and jawline, as well as the wheat stalks on the reverse. Coins with clear and sharp details are more valuable. Second, consider the coin's color. Pennies with rich reddish-brown tones are highly desirable compared to those that have darkened or tarnished over time. Third, when purchasing, seek reputable dealers or auction platforms that provide accurate grading and authenticity verification. And finally, remember that patience pays off. The right 1950-60 in very fine condition may not be the cheapest option on the market, but it will retain or even increase its value over time, making it a sound investment for any collector. The 1950-60 United States wheat penny is more than just a coin. It is a bridge to the past, a tangible piece of American history that continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. Its combination of historical significance, distinctive features, rarity in higher grades, and current market value make it a treasure worth seeking. Whether you're starting your numismatic journey or adding to an established collection, the 1950-60 in very fine condition offers both a connection to the mid-20th century and a rewarding opportunity in today's action market. So next time you stumble upon a copper penny with AD beneath the date, take a closer look. You may just be holding a small coin with a big story and even bigger potential. If you like this deep dive into rare coins and want more content like this, from hidden numismatic gems to market trends and valuable finds, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and drop a comment below with what coin you want us to explore next. Thanks for watching and happy hunting!